What's up, everybody? It's the Tabletop Tyrant, and we got another faction dropping, the Empire. So let's go and take a little dive into it. They're bringing back some really cool stuff in the range. I honestly didn't expect the War Wagon to make a return. But it's really cool that it did, and I'm actually happy for my buddy who plays Empire. Hopefully, you know, you're enjoying this too, so I think that's pretty freaking sweet. The Forge World kit Chain of Command, I think that's always been an outstanding kit. The Knights, much needed with countercharge if you upgrade them to the Inner Circle. What else we got? Some Outriders, really cool stuff coming back. The Demigryph Knights, which we needed. The War Altar of Sigmar, if you play any of the older editions, you get access to Volkmar to Grim on that thing. And then the steam tanks, which I believe, are they still in the Age of Sigmar range? Which they are still in the Sigmar range over here, so that is cool. So we already have a price idea of what we're looking at. So let's kind of dive into it. Now it's funny, I was sitting here, you know, chilling, and I looked and I was like, dude, those are striations. Did they 3D print the Demigryph Knights for the mold? I didn't know that that was already something they were doing when these guys came out. I believe they dropped in 8th edition, so, but maybe it was. I guess if I look at, like, Island of Blood was pretty decent and probably was printed and sculpted in CAD. But yeah, so first things first, the battalion box. I don't know. I think the battalion box is kind of a miss. The steam tank's really great. You can include 1 per 1,000 points. But where it kind of falls on its face is they should have thrown some Empire Knights in there, like a 5-man unit of Knights or a unit of Knights. I don't know. I think because they can take them as core, and then because the Inner Circle Knights are such like good, I would say heavy Knights for your special. I would have said it would have been nice to see some Knights included, but who knows? Because their Arcane Journal may do something that makes using these infantry a bit better. I don't know how. But I'm open to it. The Arcane Journal seems to be like a massive game changer when it introduces itself to a faction. So with the Orcs and Goblins, with the Warriors of Chaos, Bretonia, Tomb Kings, they all like pretty much give the flavor of the army to the army, which is something that I think will be interesting. If it's like any others, we'll get 2 different formations in there. It'll probably be like Orcs and Goblins had one that was all mounted and then one that allowed for trolls. I imagine also that the War Wagon will be in there for the rules. I think this one's going to be freaking sweet. Whether it'll be really good or not, I don't know. But nice to see. And then also you can expect to find more war gear in there. Definitely new magic items. All that stuff you're going to see. And then some named heroes, which I'm actually pretty interested to see what kind of named characters come out. I think most factions got 2. So it would be nice to see what we get. Now let's kind of move in here. All this is stuff, if you played Age of Sigmar, you'll have seen it. I mean, you got the general, the dude on horse, this guy can become a battle standard bearer. I believe this is a box of 1, so you get 2 of these in the box like the orc guy. So you'll probably be able to build one as a BSB and then one as a champion on horse. And then the Griffin, really good. I would suggest turning it into a mage. Fly around dropping dangerous terrain templates and just debagging it up. But that's just my opinion. What do you think down below? State troops. State troops are interesting. I would almost probably not, if I didn't have to, take them for obviously fun. They're an awesome iconic unit of the Empire. If you play other editions, you're getting your state troops back, which is freaking sweet, and on squares. So, I mean, there's that. I mean, a lot of the times, too, I use the modern bases when I do old editions, and we just made a 7-inch template and used the 5 for the 3. It's not perfect, but when you're playing an old edition, are you playing for competitiveness or for fun at that point, you know? Moving along, so we got the crossbowers. Again, these are multi-kits. So this will build the crossbows and the rifles, not the bows, if you're familiar with that. This will build sword and board, spears and halberds. Which one do I recommend? I've seen spearmen be good for that extra rank, but again, you're strength 3, so I'd almost recommend halberds and just go 6 or 7 wide in the front. And then you can always, if you take the spearmen, see, it's a mix, dude. It's a mix. If you take the spearmen, you're waiting for the charge. You should reform and get more guys in the front, and then eat the charge. But again, it's up to you how you run your army. I'm not here to be the cartographer of that. Oh, dude, yes, the freaking. I'm not here to like tell you how to run your army. You know what I mean? So we got the flagellants. These are like your holy religious zealots. I believe they have hatred, everything. So you get to reroll your failed to hits. Really great. Empire greatswords, beautiful models. I always thought they were great. You get 20 in a box now. If it goes anything like the other kits that have come out, like Tomb Guard and the Knights of the Realm on foot, you'll get 20 of these guys. And then this kit will just build the bowmen, which have open order, pretty decent, but I would honestly run the handgunners or the crossbows. And then over here you have the Free Company Militia, which it's nice to see them come back. Now the big stuff that I'm glad to see, the cannons and the mortars. This set, I remember I got this cannon old 6th edition. It's nice to see it make a return. I'm happy to see it. You got the rocket battery, and my buddy's favorite, the Hellblaster volley gun. This guy I play, he rolls misfire almost every time 3 times, blows it up, and then shoots 30 shots at me, and it's just sad panda for me. So it's a fun unit. I recommend anyone that isn't for a quirky game take one or take the rocket battery. Honestly, I think the rocket battery looks pretty good too, but your big mainstays are probably going to want to be the cannon, honestly. But my personal opinion. Moving on to Steam Tank. Steam Tank's pretty good. 1 per 1,000 points is interesting, so you're only ever max taking 2, but it's okay. I can't complain against it. My buddies never seems to really get the job done, which is why I would probably recommend like a great cannon or something. But I mean, again, what's your experience? I haven't played a lot of Empire people because they're still waiting for the army to come out. Now over here we got the Forge World Command. So this is resin. Beautiful models, really awesome. I believe they came out the same time around Tamarcon. And this used to be like Emperor Manon's like Blades Command. So these guys are like a mercenary unit. But really cool to see them come back. Again, we talked about the War Wagon. Awesome mini. Welcome to have it back. I think that's cool. It's going to be nice. You know what I mean? Now, metal minis, they're bringing back the Griffin standard, which I have to double check, but it used to be a magical banner. If it's not in this book, I guarantee you can bet your bippy it's going to be in the Arcane Journal. We got the Warrior Priest Brotherhood, really awesome. They did not bring the Forge World dude back. I thought that guy was cool, but they got Twin Hammer and Great Hammer. I personally like this guy the most. Oh, dude, nice, man. Are these the Wolf Priests of Ulrich? Nice to see them. Really gives you some flavor to it. Oh, it's nice to see everything kind of coming back again. You know, I like it. Seeing the returning metal models for it's going to be beautiful. The old school freaking knights. Beautiful. The Blazing Sun. Love it. Love it. Love it. It's awesome. You know, the horns on the helmet. Oh, it's just a blast from the past to re-see this. The Teutogens. Teutogen Guard. The command. I wonder if they're going to release the actual Teutogen Guard. That would be cool to see. These guys are really awesome. I love the models. They hold up really good to even today. And then the giant with the handgun. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, one thing I do want to say is if you're not a fan, because some people aren't a fan of the old models. I love them personally. I think the old school Empire's kind of how I see them at this point. But if you're not a fan, like we can go over here, go to the Age of Sigmar. You're going to pay for it, but if you want to look at it, I would say even Cities of Sigmar. I would say if you even went for something like this, you can't go wrong. The Luminarca Haish and the Celestial Huracanum. I hope they're in the Arcane Journals. They have the rectangular bases still, so it'll be interesting to see. I don't know why they're not on the preview, but maybe it's because they're already up here. They don't need to preview it, right? Same thing with the Battle Mage on Griffin. So the Collegiate Arcane Mystic Battle Wizards probably going to make their transversion back. These used to be 8th edition. They were the wizards. You had the Bright Wizard, the Wizard of Death, the Lord of Metal, and then Life, I believe. Or Heavens, one of those two. But my big thing is if you don't want to wait, the Flagellants have always been here, so the Flagellants are back. So if you want to get a head start on Flagellants and Flagellation, there you go. $35, can't beat that price. And it looks like they still come in their 20 mils, but I don't know, just glue them on top of the 25, I guess. But if you wanted to, I wouldn't say something like this is too far gone. I think that if you wanted to use these for Inner Circle Knights too, and you're going to lean like heavy into Sigmar, you are looking at the time of Magnus the Pious. And Magnus the Pious was the one that kind of brought about Sigmar having a seat. So it would make sense that these dudes would be all about Sigmar at this time, kind of crusading and showing off. Wonderful models. For those that don't know, the top part of the armor actually glues onto the horse. I didn't know this until I saw my friends. But yeah, so you can paint the armor separate from the horse, which I think is nice. Now, not bad. Like I said, you have this open for an option if you want to lean into the Sigmar route. If you don't and you want to lean into just regular Empire, I mean, frick, man. You got these guys, the Griffin you can still get. The Huracanum and the Haish are one kit. I would hold off till we know 100% for sure. But you have the Wizards too. All these are options that you can go for if you want to get a head start on painting up your Empire army now instead of waiting. I can't see it going wrong. And then, like I said, you just have the rest of these models. If you decide, hey, I want to run some cool Inner Circle Knights, get that counter charge, do it, you know. So I just wanted to give a little talk about the Empire. I am going to push my breakdown to the right now until like I get word that this army is coming out. Mostly because I want to see the Arcane Journal before I go around making a bunch of assumptions that'll turn around and be wrong. So some of the breakdowns I did that may be having some points that I've changed my mind on due to like playing and stuff, I'll revisit those. But until the Arcane Journal comes out, I don't want to talk about the army breakdown because it's going to have some access to gear and stuff and magical items in there and different units that could affect how the unit and army plays as a whole. So I'll be breaking down the entire thing with the army book being separate, but talking about the items in the army book and the breakdown. Everybody, it's me, the Tabletop Tyrant. I'm glad to see the Empire's back, to all you guys that love the forces of fantasy, and I look forward to slaughtering them with my Orcs and Goblins and my Warriors of Chaos. Everybody, until next time, peace.